Welcome to Live to Lead with compliments from Bishop N. Dean Clapper. I'm Dr. John Tibane, your host. It's a program dedicated to all those who are leaders and those who aspire to be leaders, to do nothing but to encourage us to live lives of influence and impact. We are persuaded in this program that as long as you are alive, you live to lead. Why lead? Because leadership is influence and impacting those who enter your realm. So if you are still alive, you exist for that purpose, to influence people, to make other people's lives better, to make the world a better world, to make a contribution and to make a difference in your generation. And hoping that the kind of impact that you are making will not only be for now, but it will also be transgenerational, which means that the people that are going to come even long after you are gone, they are still going to benefit from whatever you shall have done. Because every little thing we do today will have a ripple effect, will affect another thing and another thing and another thing. And that is why we need to be careful about the choices we make, about the decisions we make, about the steps that we take. And we encourage one another to live lives of influence and impact. And that is why today we want to talk about the leader's reputation. The leader's reputation. Yes, the leader's name. Because your name has an influence in this world. So let us read from the book of Proverbs, chapter 22, and we read verse 1. It says, "A good name is to be chosen rather than great riches, loving favor rather than silver and gold." We're encouraged to choose a good name beyond riches. We are encouraged to choose loving favor beyond silver and gold. But the focus, the first segment of the verse, a good name is to be chosen rather than great riches. A good name is better than money. A good reputation is better than silver and gold, is better than rubies, is better than a bag full of rands. Why? If your name is bad, even if you have a lot of money, you can lose it because of your bad name. But if your name is good, even if you have lost the money, you can still make it. So let us then choose a good name beyond money, beyond silver and gold. What that really means is if they were to put two things in front of you, and they put a good name on one end and they put a bag full of rubies, and you were to choose only one, the Bible says choose a good name. Because with your good name, you will be able to make that money. But if you choose the money, you choose the gold, but your name ain't good, you will soon lose it. This is a critical thing. Now, obviously, the idea here is not really just about choosing, but it is emphasizing the fact that you can have everything else, but if you don't have a good name, you may just lose everything else. Of course, it's great to have both. But the way the scripture is written, it's just for emphasis. That never choose money and rubies, gold, silver, and platinum at the expense of your name. You cannot go for all these things at all costs, including costing yourself your name. That's basically the essence of it. Now, this is critically applicable to a leader. It's even more important to a leader because as a leader, unfortunately, your life is not private and your life does not belong to you alone. Your life belongs to others. Your life belongs to your followers. Your life belongs to your customers. Your life belongs to your mentees and your proteges. Your life belongs to those that look up to you. And therefore, your name becomes important. And that is why we use the word reputation. What that means is, do we have a good report attached to your name? Do we have a good report attached to your name? Do we have a good story attached to your name? In other words, when your name comes out, are there some wonderful stories that are linked to your name? That's what reputation means. Are you reputable? Are you of a good report? Is there something good that always comes when your name shows up? When they say John Tibane, do they think of something good or they think of something bad? When your name shows up, do people think of arrogance or they think of kindness? When your name shows up, do people think of an ethical person or they think of a scallop? When your name shows up, do they think of honor or they think of disgrace? When your name shows up. Now, as a leader, you are exposed to your followers all the time. And therefore, because you are exposed to your followers all the time, it means your name is in their lips all the time. It is in their heads all the time. So the question is, what is there together with your name all the time? What's in the lips of your people or your followers together with your name all the time? What is in their heads together with your name all the time? What is in their memory together with your name all the time? Because your name is with them all the time. So what is together with your name in them all the time? That is called reputation. So let's talk about a leader's reputation, drawing this wisdom from the verse that says we rather choose a good name than rubies or than gold. I want to suggest that there are 3 personal disciplines for keeping your name clean. In other words, your name must be clean from all the wrong things, and it must be surrounded by wonderful things. But this takes discipline. It takes personal discipline. And I want to propose 3 personal disciplines. The first is called a clean conscience. The second is called a clean conversation. And the third is called a clean record card. A clean card. Let's start with the first one, clean conscience. We find this written in Acts chapter 24, verse 16. And it reads, and herein, and it is Paul speaking here, herein do I exercise myself to have always a conscience void of offense toward God and toward men. I must read this verse again. Acts chapter 24, verse 16. And herein do I exercise, watch the word exercise, myself, to have always, not sometimes, always, not sometimes, because my name is with my people always, all the time, to have always a conscience void. The word void there meaning without. My conscience must be without offense toward God and toward man. Let's talk about that briefly. As a leader, you need to exercise yourself. That is why I call it a discipline. Why? It doesn't come naturally to be disciplined. Exercise yourself to always, this is a big challenge, to always have a conscience, a feeling of guilt when you do something wrong. Which means that a conscience means really the ability to determine right from wrong. The ability to determine right from wrong. Have a conscience all the time. Exercise yourself that always you have a conscience. This machine on the inside, the system that determines right from wrong all the time. This conscience must be void of offense. This conscience must be without offense. In other words, there is a determination within you that you are going to do your best never to offend anybody. Paul says it must be void of offense toward God and toward men. You must not irritate God and you must not irritate people. Don't do wrong to God and don't do wrong to people. Do your best not to hurt God and not to hurt people. Do your best not to be bad to God and not to be bad to people. Do not offend God and do not offend people. For this to happen, it means that you must know what offends God and what offends people. You must know what offends government. You must know what offends the law. So what is important here is being ethical. And ethics means the ability to determine right from wrong and the commitment to do what's right. Let me say that again. Ethics is defined as the ability to determine right from wrong and the commitment to do what's right. The ability to separate right from wrong and the commitment to do what's right. It's one thing to determine right from wrong, but it's another thing to be committed to do what's right. So it's important, therefore, for you to understand this. It's a clean conscience, clean from offense, void of offense towards God and towards man. That's the first discipline. And I said there are 3 personal disciplines to keep your name clean, The second one is a clean conversation. A clean conversation. In 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 12, we read the following, and please pay attention to the verse. Having your conversation honest among the Gentiles, that whereas they speak against you as evildoers, they may by your good works, which they shall behold, glorify God. There is something so crucial here. You must have your conversation honest amongst the Gentiles. The word Gentile there means those who are not of your faith, or those who are outside of your circle. They are called Gentiles. You must have a conversation. The word conversation, it's an old English word. In its old English meaning, the word conversation, it means lifestyle. It means lifestyle. It doesn't really mean talking. Like when we have a conversation, we are having a discussion, we are having a chat. In its original meaning there, in the old English, the word conversation, it means lifestyle, or it means behavior. So let's dwell a little bit on this before we go to the last one. You are encouraged to have a honest conversation, a honest lifestyle, an honest behavior. Obviously, talking and communication is part of it. That is why in other lighter versions they would say have an honest communication. But to just communicate, that's a very limited meaning of the verse. The verse really talks about an honest lifestyle, an honest behavior, honest conduct, the way you conduct yourselves, especially amongst Gentiles, amongst those who are outside of your fold, of your circle, those who are outside of your faith. It goes on to say, because even though they speak evil of you, they call you names, they say that and that and that and that and that about you. The Bible says, if you keep an honest conversation, because of the good they will be beholding, they will change their minds. They were up to something bad about you. They were saying all kinds of terrible things about you. But they will give up. If you have an honest conversation or lifestyle or conduct, they will give up, they will get tired. As they behold your good works, as they behold your good lifestyle, as they behold your good conduct, they are going to get tired of throwing mud at you. They are going to get tired at wanting to make your name bad. They are going to get tired. So Apostle Peter suggests that we need to have a clean conscience. A clean conscience. A conscience that is void of offense towards God and men. But this means you must know what is offensive to God, and you must know what is offensive to men, which therefore means you must be ethical, which means you must have the ability to separate right from wrong, so that you can commit to do what is right. And if you continue doing what is right, having an honest lifestyle, an honest conduct, a good code of conduct, a good code of ethics, committed to good governance. Even your haters, they will search and search and search for bad things. They will not find. They will start by fabricating lies about you. But if you keep on the good path, they are going to get tired. That's what Peter is saying. That even though the evildoers, they speak evil of you, they are going to get tired of doing that. The third discipline that I want to talk about is the clean card. The clean card. In 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 7, it says, moreover, he must have a good report of them which are without, lest he fall into reproach and the snare of the devil. Moreover, he, meaning a leader, moreover, he must have a good report. A leader must have a good report. A bishop must have a good report. A pastor must have a good report of them which are without. I'm sure you will see the emphasis here that it is of them which are without. Because it's easier for people that are closer to you, the people you are paying a salary, the people you are giving food, the people that you are clothing, for them to be blind to your bad report. So if you have a good report to them who are outside, this is called a clean card. It's called a clean record card. So 3 personal disciplines: a clean conscience, a clean conversation, and a clean card. Have a good report of them who are without. If you do this, if you commit to these personal disciplines, you are going to keep your name clean and your reputation will be great. In other words, the things that get attached to your name will be great names, and you will keep your name clean, because it is better to keep your name clean than to run after rubies, silver, gold, and platinum. Why are we talking about a good name? Because a good name is very central to influence. People will follow you well if you have a good reputation. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you are going to join us again next week on Thursday, same time, when we talk about living to lead, living lives of influence and impact. Tell your friends, tell your colleagues, and maybe have a watch club or a watch party where you come together in the workplace or wherever you are to watch this program, because I tell you, it is going to be helping you to live lives, to live a life of influence and impact. We also want you to help us to keep this program running by financing our television license, and you can do that by donating some funds to us, and there are details on the screen that are going to direct you to where you can do that. May God bless you as you pursue a life of influence and impact. God bless you.
The Word became flesh, and the Word dwelt among us. But the world did not recognize Him. And the Bible says He came to His own, and His own received Him not. But all those who received Him, He gave them power. He gave them power. Shout